I'm Kirsten Portis and I'm 17.
Hi, I'm Chris Portis and I'm 16.
Okay, a question I wanted to ask was what was different about growing up with a mother with hearing loss?
Okay, I'll answer first since I'm the oldest and I'm a girl. Um, One thing that was different that I noticed one time, I went to a sleepover and the phone was ringing. And every time the phone rang, I would go up to the mother of the house and say, the phone's ringing. And then I'd go and keep playing with my friends, and she finally, like the third or fourth time I did it, she was like, you don't have to tell me the phone's ringing. And it hit me, oh, doesn't have a hearing loss, she doesn't need to know. So that made me think, wow, I guess something that I just do is second nature, other people don't do for their mothers.
I guess one of the things is that it was a little bit more frustrating because at the home we would have to touch her to let her know we wanted to talk, and we couldn't ever have a conversation from across the room. We would always have to go up to her and let her know that we needed to talk. And also another one of the things that was especially different was in public. I remember it was almost impossible to talk to her in public, especially before she got a cochlear implant. And
Because there's a lot of noise.
yeah, there was a lot of noise around. We would have basketball practice or soccer practice, and it'd always be hard for her to hear over the bouncing basketballs and everything, and that was another thing that was different.
Okay, was there ever a time that you felt like my hearing loss affected me in a negative way or affected you in a negative way?
It was always, you would come home from meetings early and you wouldn't want to go to restaurants because you didn't feel like hearing. And it always had a negative effect on us because it was always frustrating for you because you couldn't hear people very well. And sometimes you didn't want to use equipment. You wouldn't hand them a personal listening device so that you could hear better. Sometimes you didn't want to do that. And it would always affect you because of your social life. And it would sometimes affect us because we couldn't go out to eat as often. Or we definitely couldn't go to a movie. That's one of the big things. And just other social events we couldn't go to very often.
I remember one of the most hurtful times when I was younger was one time, I can't remember exactly what happened, but you would actually do this a lot. You would say, well, you don't understand, you're hearing, I'm deaf. And that, I finally told you how much that hurt me because it made me feel like I was a different species. And that I couldn't possibly understand because I didn't have the disability. And even though I couldn't maybe understand to the extent of what other people, your disability would have empathy for, I understood because I saw what happened in your life and stuff, and I didn't want to feel like a different species. I wanted to feel like your daughter.
How do you think having a mother with a hearing loss and with a disability, how did that affect you in a positive way? How did that strengthen who you are as an individual today?
Well, I think the biggest way that strengthened me was that I have more empathy for people that have hearing loss, and not just hearing loss, but all different disabilities, because I see the daily adjustments that my mom has to make and the little things that most people would take for granted that I've learned to appreciate. And also it's probably made me seem at least like a more confident person because I face people and look them in the eye because I have to for my mom to hear me. But it's just a habit I've picked up because I've made adjustments myself to help her.
I definitely have more appreciation for people with a hearing loss because I know what they have to go through now. And also, even though they seemed mundane at first, the way my mom would give me warnings not to listen to stuff too loud or do anything that was too strenuous on my ears, it really helped me in the long run because I remember our youth group would always go to rock concerts. That was one of the big things they go to. And the problem was is that we would always sit right next to the speakers. And they were extremely loud, and I don't go to rock concerts with them anymore because I've learned that it really does damage my hearing, and I could actually still feel my ears ringing after we left the concert. And so I definitely have learned to protect my ears better and appreciate people with hearing loss better.